Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
That's what I'm talking about. All of our guests today, including Ross Tucker, standing by, sponsored by Bassan Motors. You're invited to the biggest sale of the year, the Bassan Motors Anniversary Sale. It's back. Check it out at Bassan Motors, BASANT Motors.com. Joined now by Ross Tucker from the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, CBS Sports, and Westwood One. Ross, thanks for doing this. Happy belated Canadian Thanksgiving. How are you?
I am fantastic. Happy belated Canadian Thanksgiving to you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And I love that's what I'm talking about every time I come on every week, Donnie. So you gotta tell me, is there anything different between Canadian Thanksgiving and American Thanksgiving other than
it's a month earlier? Yeah.
Do you guys eat turkey and mashed potatoes and the same stuff?
Yeah. I don't think it's as big a deal up here, but it's still a big deal, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Not like down there. Yeah. More of a tradition.
And is it always a Monday?
I think so, yeah. I should probably know this. Yeah, it is.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's cool because then you get a 3-day weekend, but the way it is in America, being on a Thursday, most people actually get a 4-day weekend. Most people don't work on that Friday. It's why it's Black Friday. So it is a bigger deal in America. We get a whole extra day off.
Yeah. Okay, rub it in, Ross. I do like.
I don't. I'm always working Thanksgiving or Black Friday anyway.
There you go.
That's true.
There you go. I like the timing of ours better. Like turkeys, so close together, I can't do it, Ross.
Yeah.
You got the 2-month break. I think it might be better, timing wise.
Well, I think there's some truth to that. To have Thanksgiving so close to Christmas, it's like spread them out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Although a lot of times, when for American colleges, like you pretty much go home after Thanksgiving or shortly after Thanksgiving, and you get a big long break. So there's pros and cons of everything.
Oh, like anything else. Pros and cons. The Jets. It looks like they're going to get Davante Adams. Aaron Rodgers' good buddy. Is there going to be something special, some magic again between those two?
I guess we'll find out. I mean, they immediately have a really good pair of receivers, right? Garrett Wilson and Davante Adams, both those guys are high-level players. We saw that again from Garrett Wilson last night. So now defenses really have to pick their poison. I mean, before they would either double Garrett Wilson or put their best corner on Garrett Wilson or whatever. Now it's like, okay, you're going to do it with Garrett Wilson, the young up-and-comer, or you're going to do it with Davante Adams? So that certainly helps the Jets to open things up. And as much as Rodgers has connected with Garrett Wilson, it just seems like it's not quite still the same level of comfort as he has with Davante Adams. We'll see if those guys, if it's like riding a bike and those guys can just pick up where they left off or not.
I felt for you yesterday, or 2 days ago. You tweet out Sunday, I'm ready for the Lions to win a Super Bowl. Moments later, Aiden Hutchinson fractures his tibia and fibula. Is there any chance that the Lions can still do something special despite his absence?
There is, but he's their best defensive player. You can make a really strong argument he's the best player on the team. That's hard to overcome, right? I mean, historically, teams are able to overcome injuries some years to win Super Bowls. We've seen backup quarterbacks win Super Bowls. So it is certainly possible, but I'm trying to remember the last team to win a Super Bowl without their best player and or their best defensive player, especially a defensive lineman, edge rusher, and what those guys represent. I believe it's the second most important position in the sport after quarterback. It's a very, very tough loss. I'll be curious to see what, if anything, the Lions do or can do before the trade deadline to try to beef that up a little bit. You're not going to get Aiden Hutchinson back, but can they get something enough so that, they can still make a good run at it this year?
Ross, let's stay with that game. The Cowboys are a mess. 3-3. They've lost all three at home. The $60 million quarterback had no touchdown passes, 2 picks. The owner said after the game the coach is safe. What's going on there? I mean, it's not good.
No, it's not. But I also got to tell you, I'm not overly surprised with where the Cowboys are. Right? They didn't come into the season with an improved roster. They were clearly worse at a number of spots. Left tackle, center, running back, a few just off the top of my head. And then you lose your 2 best defensive players, Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm surprised they got blown out that badly. But I kind of thought coming in the year the Cowboys were like a 9-win team. And I still do, especially with the injuries. And I'll say this too, everybody's just killing the Cowboys right now. It's only a week ago that they won in Pittsburgh, a 4-2 team without Lawrence or Micah Parsons and some of those guys. So I'm not quite there yet on the sky is falling for the Cowboys as much as they're terrible at home, and that was a really bad game.
Baker Mayfield, 594 yards, total offense against the Saints, 51 points. He leads the NFL in touchdown passes with 15. Why is it clicking for him in Tampa Bay and it didn't for him elsewhere?
Well, he had some good moments, in Cleveland, right? I mean, they went to a playoffs one year. He won a road playoff game in Pittsburgh, which Cleveland hadn't done in forever. They certainly had the Kansas City Chiefs on the ropes in the divisional round. I mean, he had his moments, but I'm not sure what happened there or why it ended, because he feels like such a perfect Browns quarterback. It feels like, he's the type of guy that the city of Cleveland would rally around. I think, unfortunately, he was playing through injury and he didn't play as well, and they decided he wasn't the guy. Then, if you remember, he bounced to Carolina, to the Rams for the rest of this. It was just weird. And now to see him playing this well, I think is a lesson really for all of us.
Yeah. Let's stick with that game as well. And the conversation seems to be going towards Deshaun Watson. But I want to talk about something else, and that's Nick Sirianni after the game. Actually, it was before the game ended, chirping Philadelphia fans as the Eagles beat the Browns. He was obviously hearing things from Philadelphia fans through the years. What have you heard from fans when you're on the sidelines, when you were on the sidelines, and what do players and coaches hear these days?
Well, I heard a bunch, but I kind of enjoyed it. I still remember playing at the Raiders my 4th year. It would have been 2004, and I didn't know if I'd ever play at the Raiders again. It was in Oakland. And they have the black hole. So during pregame warmups, I went as close to them as I could go without them being able to actually physically grab me. And so they're all yelling. I go, is this it? Is this all you guys got? And they were all trying. I mean, I embraced the experience. I enjoyed that stuff. I liked it. I didn't talk that much to the fans, and they would say, "You suck, Tucker," and whatever. I don't know. I kind of like it. I like that I'm the man in the arena, and I'm the gladiator down there getting paid to perform. They are the constituents up in the stands that paid money to watch me perform. I like that. I like that in high school too. I mean, if I made a 3 or something, wink at the cheerleader for the other team, that's part of it.
Yeah. And for people who don't know, Ross Tucker at high school, starting point guard for his team back in the day.
Wow.
Drake Maye, what do the Patriots have in Drake Maye as he makes his first start? It was pretty impressive.
Well, they have someone that's a heck of a lot more fun to watch than what they have in Jacoby Brissett, that's for sure. I mean, they got to the point where, the Patriots fans had nothing to watch and no reason for hope. So they put in Drake Maye, and now they have a reason to watch, and now they have some reason for hope because the young man has some ability, and he showed it with those 3 touchdown passes on Sunday. He's got a lot of lessons to learn, but why not learn them now? Why not go out there and start let's start the learning process. I think it's a smart decision.
You know what nobody has ever said during this segment, whether it's us or people watching this, they've never said, is that all you've got? To Ross Tucker.
Yeah.
This has been excellent, my friend.
Yeah.
Outstanding. We thank you so much. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds great. See you, fellas.